Hello everybody and welcome back to, I was about to say Stellaris. This is not Stellaris, this is Victoria. We are ticking on forward here, working towards universal suffrage. The rural folk are going to be a little bit upset about consumption-based taxation passing. I don't know why they're even demanding this, to be honest. But whatever. If that's what they want to do, sure. I'm not going to stop them, but I'm not going to implement that either. So we are ticking on forward and paying down our debts here. We're actually pretty close to getting our debts paid. Actually, we're really close to that. Fascinating. Well, we'll continue to tick on forward, and we could think about dropping our taxes potentially soon. Soon. Not quite yet, but definitely soon. We're finishing up some colonization over here. That's great. And, really? The landowner's doing a revolution to enact cultural exclusion right now? Okay. This is going to be Amhara and Gondar. That's very obnoxious. How long will it take them? They're getting 8 point... Actually, they only have 51 radicalism at this moment. So they can't actually do this right now. Indeed, they cannot. We'll see how far that actually goes and how long it takes us to enact universal suffrage. The landowners have been such a big problem this entire game. They've done so many revolutions and failed every single one of them. This one's going to be no different, for the record. If they do end up actually firing their revolution, which may or may not happen, what is their current... Their clout is going down right now. They are still at minus 64% from loser in their last revolutionary struggle. So let's see. Hopefully universal suffrage passes directly through real quickly here. That would be nice. We're not going to enact cultural exclusion, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look at what we've got going on there for our... let's see, that's in our citizenship. Actually, we do want to move down that direction. We'd rather go to multiculturalism, but nobody's actually in favor of it. So I would do this, actually, if we weren't already working on universal suffrage. Letters to the condemned. The letters must flow freely, indeed. Okay, so that gains some radicalism there. 3 interest group approval, huh? And minus 10%. Alternatively, it's a 50-50 either way. Let's see what happens. Hey, we got the good roll. I like it. Okay, so that'll make these guys a little bit happier. Their overall radicalism isn't too bad. And we'll need to try to back off on their approval here fairly soon. Minus 2 from the recent change there. Okay. And this will radicalize the landowners. I mean, what doesn't, though, to be honest? What doesn't radicalize the landowners? So we're very, very close here to paying off our debt. That's for sure. This would be Somaliland and Amhara at this point. Not Gondar. Fascinating. So vulcanization is done. That gives us 3 new production methods. Beautiful. We also can go to publicly traded, and we should broadly do this. Elastics is fine here. Publicly traded is a slight negative here, but I think it's still worth doing. Most of these is positive for. We can't do it for our tooling workshops yet, or rather for our paper mills yet, apparently. In order to publicly trade this, we need sulfate pulping or paper bleaching. Oh, we're in pulp pressing right now. We should definitely be on paper bleaching. Okay, so that allows us to do it. Beautiful. Chemical plants should be on improved fertilizers. For some reason, this got turned down at some point. Okay, we'll turn that right on up. What about in motor industries? I think that we can't actually do anything here. Reinforced wooden ships are still negative right now, so we can't bring that guy on down. We'll publicly trade our arms industries. It was a slight negative, but I think it's fine. Power plants, slight negative there. Again, it should be okay. Beautiful. Okay, in our rural areas, we definitely can publicly trade our coal and iron mines. Those will both be quite valuable. What else would we be interested in doing here? Well, coffee plantations, that's a small bump up. In fact, overall, this is definitely profitable. There are a couple of these here and there that are negative, but I think overall, we're definitely coming out on top of this. Yeah, for sure. Fishing wharves cannot be brought down yet. Hang on. Fishing trawlers was a thing that we could do. What do we got here? Sneezes, apparently. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to grab fishing trawlers, and we're going to go down to publicly traded. That will make our fishing wharves decently more profitable. I like it. Overall, economically, that should be a pretty big boon for us. Of course, we can go up to bicycle messengers. That is relatively expensive, so we're only going to do that in our conscription center for now. Do we publicly trade our railways, or do we government run our railways? Government run is actually better. So we're going to do that, and we'll just bump that down like so. Okay. Cool. So that should net us quite a lot of cash, which in theory should allow us to cut taxes. Wonderful. We'll see what that ends up doing to the landowner's approval. What would that do? It would give us additional legitimacy. We're in an unacceptable government right now, yeah. For the moment, that's reasonably fine. We are very, very close to paying off our debt here. And yeah, they bumped back up to another 8% there. So this is going to be a very long time before this revolution happens. Industrialists are steaming. Interest group approval. Or they would become insurrectionary? No, this is fine. Unfortunately, we've had some awkward luck on the universal suffrage here. That's 2 ticks there that... Ooh, wow, look at that income. I got kind of distracted. We're going to cut taxes here. Education investment goes up to 5. Beautiful. And as I was saying, we've had some kind of awkward luck on passing universal suffrage. If we need to, we can cancel universal suffrage and do cultural exclusion. It is a step in the right direction, right? So that would be reasonably fine. Can we go down to minimum taxes? Not yet. 43.5K. Noted. And I think running these consumption taxes on these goods is completely fine. I'm not too concerned about that right now. We're definitely making a lot less money on that, no doubt about that. We're very close to paying off our debt, and we've cut our taxes again. This is looking great. The people's wealth, huh? Increased security? Sure, I don't love it, but we'll do increased security around our banks. So these guys are just kind of going to be chilling at around 53. That's not all that big of a danger. It seems realistically okay. We're currently paying 2.5K in additional expenses. Yeah, that's a little bit gross. We're paying more for that bank security than we are for our interest right now. That's a good sign, really. Really? We're building a coal mine? We could build a rubber plantation, and I'm going to do so. We're building a lot of rubber plantations as is. And do we have our additional rubber plantations down here? No, we're on our second round of them. Okay. Camera has been discovered. Cool. Oil has been discovered in Lancashire. Not like that's useful for us. Cool. At this point, we definitely could think about dropping our taxes. It would be a slight deficit for the moment. But honestly, as we finish up these rubber plantations, it should be fine. Landowner interest group approval going down is actually not amazing here. We'll see which one we get. It went down. Cool. Okay, so landowner interest approval is currently at minus 12. Indeed. Minus 2 from unacceptable government. Yeah. That's all noted. Oil discovered in Saskatchewan sounds good. Are we out of debt now? We are. We are officially out of debt. So, of course, that means it's time for another civil war. That's how this has been going, no doubt about that. But look at that GDP climbing. It's climbing incredibly sharply now. I love it. So that looks really, really good. We'll see what happens with universal suffrage here. We've got 19 days. We've got a 65% chance of a stall. 34% chance of success. We'll see. We do need to get this passed, and I am willing to fight a civil war over it if it comes to it. I am going to cut our taxes again. This is not where we cut the taxes. I'm going to cut the taxes again. Now that we're out of debt, we can be on minimum taxes, and that's absolutely fine. Socialism unlocked. Cool. Do we actually have any workplace safety that we can do? No. Okay, noted. What do we want to grab beyond that? I mean, we could make our way down towards arc welding. So we could grab, like, elevators down into, like, paved roads, or we could go into arc welding, which, of course, is down this direction. We would need to grab electric arc process and pneumatic tools into arc welding. That's still a ways away, so I think for the moment we may want to go for something along the lines of, like, feminism here, or just pan-nationalism for the authority. That's actually not a terrible idea. Let's do that for now. Hey, we progressed into consideration. Membership lists have been discovered for the landowners, and minus 25% political strength is actually really good here. We're going to do that. These guys can't go beyond 45 right now, so that's good. Their radicalism actually dropped from their political strength dropping, and that should be absolutely fine. Now, we could think about increasing our construction. Do we feel like that's necessary? Looking at these numbers, it's dropping in terms of peasants and unemployment. I don't think we need additional construction. So I think this is reasonably fine. No major issues there. Is this coffee plantation actually going to construct? I don't know. Maybe. We'll find out. We've got a lot of constructions ongoing right now, and our economy is definitely swelling here. No doubt about that. That's very, very good. And hopefully we pass directly into adoption and then success again, but the odds on that are pretty low to succeed a 36% chance 3 times in a row. Yeah, probably not going to happen. I'm keeping an eye on our surplus here. It's fine, honestly. I don't mind running a balanced budget as long as we don't go back into debt. We could even run a deficit for a little bit with this gold reserve that we built up. Opportunistic members of the trade unions have defected to the landowners' cause. We can give some bureaucracy to coaxing them back. Cool. I don't really want to fight this revolution. If we have to, we will. To be honest, I want to enact cultural exclusion, but we need to enact universal suffrage first. We can only do one law change at a time. So that's definitely a thing. Electricity shortage in the British market. Okay, I'm just keeping an eye on some of these. 56% of pops below the standard of living in Eritrea. So we only have partial control over Eritrea, right? We do want to eventually fight Egypt and take that over. What do they have going on right now? They're trying not to get attacked by Russia. Okay, that's funny. The Ottoman Empire is their rival. And they're in a defensive pact with Oman. As long as we have Britain on our side, it shouldn't be a problem. We could start working on damaging relations with Egypt. And so we shall. We'll keep an eye on that. And we are, of course, working on relations with Austria. We're going to stop improving relations there. I don't care about that. The Rebels Doctor. Okay, so this is from the Revolution here. We'll probably take... that's an Amhara. We'll just take the 2% academic radicalism. I really don't like it, but we'll take it. Okay, so this revolution is actually staying quite low. It's not going well for them. No doubt about that. The real question is, can we pass universal suffrage and then just go for it on the revolution? We'll see. It's very good that the landowners are in this, though, instead of joining the Oriental Orthodox Church and preserving autocracy. Because that would almost certainly, well, it's low radicalism right now, but it would almost certainly be more successful than this revolution. So, good for them. We're working on these ports in Somaliland. It looks like this coffee plantation in Amhara is just not going to happen. So I'm going to cancel that for now. And this is a lot of low construction efficiency, but it's not that bad. Minus 12%, I think is okay. So we'll allow that for now. What do we got going on here? More heavy-handedness happening, huh? He should step down. So this revolution is chilling at 0%. And it's not going to gain progress at the next checkpoint. That's fascinating. I would have expected it to still be gaining some progress at the next checkpoint, but apparently not. I love it. That's really good. So these ports are not hugely important, right? We don't really care too much about them. Overall, I want to hop in and make sure that we are auto-expanding all of these. Oil discovered in Oromia. That's actually a big deal. Okay. We're going to get back to that in a moment here. But I want to make sure that all of these are set to auto-expand for right now. Our Arts Academy can go to photographic art, and it definitely should. Okay, any of these that can be expanded? The answer is no, which isn't shocking, I suppose. Let's check in real quick on our government administrations. Our taxation capacity looks good. We currently do have a shortage in Ethiopian Eritrea of infrastructure, but we're building a railway there right now. So that's fine. It looks like that is probably in our private constructions. Ethiopian Congo has -1 for infrastructure as well. I'm guessing this just doesn't have employment. Yeah, that's the case. So no problem there. Oromia getting a bunch more rubber plantations is amazing. But it actually didn't. That's intriguing. But we can build a couple of oil rigs in Oromia. We can build 3. It's better than nothing. Oh, that political movement to enact the... Okay, noted. This just changed around. So the political movement to enact cultural exclusion, the rebellion, went away. The landowners are now in the preserve autocracy category. This radicalism isn't super high right now. It must be 50% is the threshold. That must be the case. Now, this cultural exclusion I absolutely do want to do. I mean, it's not the... Oh, they do endorse the change. But it would still radicalize the landowners. That's actually pretty funny. I was just like, hang on, why were they pushing for that? This did progress to adoption. That's good. Okay, so I do want to move down this direction. Nobody actually wants multiculturalism right now. Literally everyone is opposed to it. So for the time being, multiculturalism isn't an option. But we can move down towards cultural exclusion. Once universal suffrage passes, though, then we should be able to get these things done much more easily. In theory, anyway. Our GDP is soaring at this moment. That's really, really good. And realistically, with our amount of income right now, we may want to think about expanding our construction, particularly in Oromia. And so I shall. I do expect that this brings us negative by about 10K temporarily. But over time, we should dig our way out of that. I'm not even 100% certain. Oh, the last monarchists. Oh, because we successfully maintained a republican form of government. Ah, the landowners lose all of those ideologies. This is actually really good for us. So we put the past behind us. The landowners are now, in theory, going to be a lot less of jerks. In theory. We'll see. So they're reformers, stratocratic, patriarchal, pro-slavery still, and elitist. Yeah, there's still going to be problems. Okay, 36K, that is definitely a little lower than I was expecting it to be. But once we get these oil rigs online, that should be relatively good. 40K? Yeah, we can just float here and just make sure that we don't go too far into debt. That shouldn't be a big deal. And we'll work our way out of this. We can always crank up our taxes a little bit more if we feel like it's necessary. We're on minimum taxes right now, so that seems reasonably fine. And we're also working our way through these peasants and unemployed. We shouldn't need to further expand our construction beyond this for a good long time. So that looks good. How are we doing on our pan-nationalism? That's 5 months away. Okay. And we're at 41% for our enactment success here. February 1st, 1913 is when we roll this. So that's not too far away. Cool. Our oil rigs are online. There is an Egyptian aristocratic revolt right now. This is interesting. I mean, we would have to crank up our military, which is something we should work towards anyway. So let's turn on bicycle messengers. Let's grab first aid. Let's grab mobile artillery and skirmish infantry, right? So we crank that up, and from here, I am going to bump up our taxes. We're still slightly negative. We should be able to come around on that one. So let's let our troops recover from the production method change for a bit here. And I would love to fight Egypt here. So they are at 432 versus our 460. This is a theoretical possibility. Another thing that we can do is bulk up our military, hugely. Which I may actually consider doing here. We can actually get a ridiculous amount of military construction here. Perhaps too much military construction. It would definitely suck up all of our available labor. Hello, pause menu. It is an interesting option. I think for the moment, we're going to hold off on that. We're still harming our relations with Egypt. What do we suppose the odds are that Britain would help us fight Egypt? That's the question here. I mean, they're currently fighting in China, and they're not actually fighting in this. Okay. Fascinating. I would like to declare a separate war on Egypt here, if we're going to do this. And if we're going to do this, we should at least bump up our barracks in Oromia. This will take a while to work through, and we'll eat through our finances. So taxes will have to come up here. Like so. But we will build these barracks rather quickly. So that seems reasonably fine. Let's get those going. I'm not going to build any other barracks here, but I want to be able to fight Egypt, and I want to be able to do so without Britain, if necessary. So we're going to get these barracks built, and after the barracks are built, we'll look at a potential war. So we know that this is going to come up from 66 to like 100 something. And we may want to take more territory than just Eritrea from Egypt. Like, if we were to take all of this down here, that would be a pretty hefty gain for us. For sure. But we can definitely start thinking about getting more belligerent here. Revolution to preserve autocracy. Ridiculous. Let's see if we get universal suffrage. And the answer to that is 2 days, 1 day, and there we go. Beautiful. So universal suffrage passes. Now we can enact cultural exclusion. Oh, we have an illegitimate government right now. Yeah, we would need to wait for an election, I think. Okay, newly formed parties. The election is going to be in 6 months. We cannot actually do this because our government is illegitimate, and I don't think that we can get a legitimate government. Yeah, this is actually the best that we've got, the agrarians and the liberals in coalition here. This is the best that we can do. at least until this election is done. We are going to have these barracks finishing. And they're going to be done as of now. Okay, so with the barracks done, we can think about fighting Egypt. It is, however, time to put a cut in here. Oh my, that authority is a problem. Let's cut a couple of these consumption taxes. So I'm going to remove this one, this one, this one, and this one. I'm going to remove glass. Okay, that puts us back positive there. We're barely floating financially, but that should be good enough. We should be fine financially there. So with that, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to look to attack Egypt and get a proper government in place. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadowwolf, MLoHunt80, Rogue Corvid, Kintogan, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.